Kiya Podcast would like to acknowledge that this episode was recorded on Whadjuk land of the Noongar people. We recognise our First Nations people as the traditional custodians of the land, and we pay our respects to their elders past, present and future.
Kiya Wanji, hello and welcome to the Kiya Podcast. And like every episode that we have every week, I'm getting people in with amazing stories who are doing amazing things in our community, for our people. And today's no different. Today we have someone who is a huge role model, who is a very strong black man and is just doing amazing things from, ever since he was little, moving to Melbourne and then eventually getting drafted, and now doing the things that he's doing and keeping his connection to culture. That's why we started Kiya Podcast, is to show these strong black role models that are doing great things, but also keeping that connection to the land and keeping that connection to their culture. And this is someone who I'm very excited about interviewing, especially in a formal setting, because we have that many yarns informal. But no, it's great to have you on, Uncle Willie Rioli. Welcome on.
Thanks for having me, brother. Pleasure to be on here.
Thank you, man. What's been going on?
Not a lot, eh? I'm just enjoying being back in Adelaide. Of this kind of where I got drafted from over here, and to come back here, I think I found my purpose and found my love for the footy, for AFL again, and yeah, just grateful to be where I am at now, playing footy at the top level and trying to give back when I can. So.
So, what's some things like you've been working on over the pre-season? Like you said, now you got a 4-day break, so you get a little bit of time to relax, reflect on, the last couple months.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I think this pre-season, I think I'm comfortable being in the environment I've been in. I think a bit daunting when you first come over. I think as a new recruit or new player, it's always daunting. But the club's embraced me with both arms, and I think my second year now, so I'm a lot comfortable around the people at the club. And this preseason's been good. I've been able to do all the sessions compared to last year. I managed a lot just because I was getting to know my body, which this year I've been able to do majority of the preseason and not have not have any niggles to kind of slow me down. So definitely feeling a lot fitter, and the boys have been training really well this off season, and I think just hopefully we go week by week and keep going on what we going for that ultimate goal. And like I'm not talking about final round now, so I just go week by week, butter.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And you guys, you got such a good core, because it's not like you was going there not knowing anyone. Like, you got family over there, and then you got brother boy Quentin and Sam there to pretty much embrace you as soon as you got there. How's all the brother boy connection there going?
Yeah, no, it's really good. We've got a good group over here. There's about 7 of us, and including about 3-4 girls. So it's been amazing coming over here, and just having seen their program over here. It's definitely, for me anyway, I'm more focused on what I can do in the community, and how I can give back in that sense. So Port, I think, looking at their program, have a awesome Indigenous program over here, and just us boys over here, we're really tight. Us Indigenous boys, we stick together. We bounce off each other a lot. We give each other energy, and I think that's pretty important. Being in an elite environment, having 4 or 5 guys instead of 1 or 2, it definitely helps the synergy in the group.
It takes a lot of the pressure away. I know when you can just have a laugh with the brother boys.
Don't worry, we definitely make it more fun, enjoyable. Just every day, going in, and you want to go in just to hang with them boys. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I like coming in. And the best part about it, they're all got young families, so we all can relate on how we go in life. And
Yeah.
that's what I said. We all from different parts of Australia, so it's kind of we all bounce off each other, and in a way we're just connected from our Indigenous culture. So
Yeah, that's what I find that's real cool is how similar, like, you got, like you said, you got mob from all over the
mm,
place, and you make those connections, but just how similar, like, all our principles are, like, even with
yeah,
the IBA stuff,
yeah,
all the South Australia boys, they just like
yeah,
Nyunga. Oh, that's
yeah.
funny. Uh,
But I'm lucky, like you said, I've been all over the place, and I think
mm,
the one thing that I can say, we all got our own, we all kind of gel because of our cultures and our morals in life, I think, and even our upbringing. I think we all come from nothing, so we all know that, we've got to try and get the best
mm.
out of this industry and get the best out of each other, because that's how we're going to thrive. So
That's
it's
it.
good.
The more love and support that we have, the more of us that can make it and then stay in it.
Yeah, yes,
That's it.
that's the way. But I've seen a lot of sad, like it's sad. A lot of Indigenous guys come and go, but the ones that stick it out, they're the ones that I think would, gel and put themselves out there a bit more. Which when I first came into the industry, I was really shied away from it. I kind of just
Mm,
kept to my little core group, which my little circle, or the people that I thought I could trust. But, I think the biggest thing is just putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable, tell them what you're going through every day. I think that's the biggest thing.
mm,
We all got personal stuff outside of football. So if
mm.
they understand your personal stuff, I think it gives them a better understanding when you're flat and when you're down. And
Yeah.
I think coming over here, I think just with my experience now, but I've learned to open up to people that care about me, and
Mm,
and I've seen people that care about me when I had nothing, when I thought
mm,
I had nothing in a way, but when I went away from the game, it made me realize that there's people that care, and then there's people that want to go along with the ride with you. But yeah,
yeah.
I generally open up to the ones that I think, a vibe that they care. Yeah. So
Mm. But and that's it, like you said, like you don't really know what someone's going through. You could come into training or whatever and put on the happiest face going and
yeah,
just cover it all up, but knowing
yeah,
as soon as you leave that place, you just
yeah,
hit with a different feeling. So for
yeah,
someone, and if you're coming in around that brother boy connection, and we can just know sometimes where
yeah,
tap brother boy and be like, "Hey, you right? Like, what's going on?" or
yeah.
something like that. And that's
No,
the beauty of it, I know.
yeah,
Like,
but I've
mm,
had it a couple times, but with
mm,
personal stuff going on outside of football, and I've come in with people. Sometimes people don't really know what's going on, but then Jezza and Pep, they'll know I'm a bit
mm,
quieter than normal, and they
mm,
this how are you question. That's the biggest um
yeah,
light. That's a light bulb that switches on top of your head,
mm,
and it shows that people really, they do know what's going, like they do, and they
yeah,
know how you go about things, and when you're feeling
mm-hmm,
down, so it's
mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's wicked, man. And it's just started just being like, all right, are you comfortable with this person now for them to
Yeah,
actually open up to you? And yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
When we talk about like growing up and because we talk a lot about with a couple of my previous guests about how because some got to know their culture at a later age,
yeah,
um,
yes,
and find that out. Was you always like learning your culture from a little fella, whether that's
yeah,
dancing, whether that's going out bush or fishing or whatever?
yeah. I was lucky. When we moved back to TV, I kind of was lucky. I went to school over there and kind of did it all the way up to year six, year seven at the time, and then like they started year
Mm,
seven in high school. But I was still over there going to school in the primary school, and I guess being growing up in a small island of TV, it's it's either football culture and fishing and hunting. So
Mm.
those three things, those four things were like, for me, my safe zone. Like
Yeah.
when I was around people, around my old people, my leaders back home, they all taught me, how to hunt, how to live off the land. And I say to people, I was lucky, a lot of people um, don't have that, connection or like that culture thing full on. But, being on TV, we're lucky our culture is really strong over there. So I was surrounded by it every day. And because I was, a bit later in the draft, I was able to come back home and still, learn to live off the land and be around culture, be around my
Yeah.
culture every day. A lot of it's mainly sad times, but I was lucky, my grandfather was really big on the cultural side of things, so I got to kind of see him go to a lot of meetings and a lot of cultural stuff, and which a lot of my other cousins missed out on that because they were down in high school or living in the city. So me, Daniel Morris, we was lucky. We grew up on TV, and I went to high school and that, but I was always home on my breaks. So, and having football, I knew football was my ticket out of the community. I always knew it was. But yeah, how I look at it now, but I'm grateful to come in at a later age in my draft year, because I think if I would have came in as a high school student, I probably wasn't mature enough, or
Yeah.
so yeah, I would have kind of came into the system and spat out pretty quickly. So I'm grateful that I kind of went the long way, because I got to spend more time back home and do a lot of cultural stuff back home, and I know my mum's side and my dad's side, just from being around, and a lot of my family, they just grew up on one side of their family, which I grew up on both sides of, really close to both sides of my family. So
That's
yeah,
wicked.
had a pretty lucky life, like growing up, had two great parents that forced me to do a lot of the cultural stuff, and learned to go out hunting and that with my uncles, and like my dad was always working, but I had my uncles in that always made time for me, and that's, I always say, I'm a product of my environment. So everything I learned and the person I am is because of them. So
And that's it. All those principles when you talk about, like, when you go out hunting, like, a main principle is you only take what you need. You don't take any more
yeah,
than what you need. And that's how that sort of translate into life. And when you go into the professional world and obviously the business side of AFL, like, you only same thing as them hunting principles, aren't it? You just take
yeah.
what you need, and that's it. I'm good.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get what you need to get out of it, and then go. That's
Mm.
kind of what I'm chasing right now. Just to set
Hmm.
my family up. Where we set my family up in the long run. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, and when I first got into the league, I wasn't really thinking like that. So
Mm.
now I think with stuff that's been going on in my life, I see things in a different perspective, and
Mm.
I think as my dad says, when you go through down times, if you don't learn and grow from them, you stay stagnant. So
Hmm. Yeah, that's it. And it's like you said, you gotta learn. You
yeah,
gotta learn, you gotta mature, and it's all about how you learn, Like
yeah,
me personally, I learn from my fuck ups the best. Like that's the
yeah, yeah.
otherwise I don't really
I
learn
learned.
as I fuck it
No,
up, don't
exactly.
I?
Especially as black fellas, that would outside of all this Indian doesn't define you unless you do it constantly.
Mm.
I say,
Yep.
like, I've met so many people like that, great people, but do silly stuff. But
Mm.
I say to them, us growing up with you're the nicest bloke I've ever come
Mm.
across. But
Mm.
from other people's perspective, they don't look at it like that because they don't know him personally. So
Yeah.
that's why
And
I
it's
think
like
growing up.
Yeah, and it's like no love lost to you or nothing. Like
Yeah,
still love you the same, but we just got to go that different
different
way.
way, Yeah,
Mm.
yes, sir. And yeah, just the way I grew up and the product of my environment. But I learned that, there's some people that are, let my kids hang around even though they've done silly stuff. But,
Mm.
to some, instead of, giving my son to a random person that I don't know, so it's
Mm.
little things like
No,
that
that's
I kind of look at and appreciate a bit more.
mm.
Yeah.
Mm. So, like we said before, you've got around the country quite a bit, going here and there, and we talk about, um, and you went to Xavier College in Melbourne?
Yeah, Xavier College in Melbourne there.
So we
Went
talk
there
about
for,
going there. Yeah, how long was you there
yeah,
for?
I think I went there from year 9 to year 11.
Mm.
Great experience for me. I say every experience I've been through, I'm grateful for because
Mm.
I've learned little traits along the way. Met so many great people that I still talk to today from Xavier and from all the places I've been. But yeah, Xavier was a big eye opener for me. Being a small community kid, going to
Mm.
a big school of Xavier College, and I think they had about 6 classes, and a
Mm.
day, and where I'm
Yeah.
from, we only have 3 classes, like one before recess, one after recess, and then one after lunch, So
Mm.
to go from that to a school where it had 6 different classes throughout the week,
Mm.
definitely challenging. And back then, I think they didn't have, any indigenous guys that or teachers back then, or liaison
Mm.
officers, or how they call it now. And
Like the
that
mentors
was,
to kind of
yeah,
show
and they
you the
didn't have
ropes
any
and all
like
that. Mm.
big mentors that, like, I think every school has to have one now, which is,
Yep, yep.
very, very
That would have
positive.
been
And
useful back then, huh?
yeah, yes, sir. And that's what I tell people. Like, I think it gave me that's the kind of reason why I didn't stay at Xavier's, all the way, is just because I felt
Mm.
like I didn't have that moral support there. And
Yep.
no, I think what I've heard now that they got, an Indigenous liaison officer there, and then they got like a MITS program there down in Melbourne, which a lot of kids over Australia all go there prior to going out to those big colleges. So I think
Mm.
that's a great avenue, great pathway. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and when I went there, there wasn't all that, but so many great people that helped me along the way. And I think there's 2 or 3 teachers or mentors that helped me that I still talk to today. So,
Yeah,
and
that's solid.
who check on me, and that's that
Mm.
yeah, that I'm really close with from Xavier. And but no, I say it was a great eye opener for me being a small Indigenous kid. I got to go and watch a lot of AFL games when I got there, and be
Mm-hmm.
around Cyril, because Cyril was playing footy at Hawks at the time there. And me and a couple of my other cousins that I was close with, who were at
Mm.
different schools, but was able to kind of stay out on weekends with Cyril and kind of see
Mm.
the way he goes about live football. And
Yeah.
I think that helped me even push more to kind of make it or play AFL football. Was got to see him do all that stuff and
Yeah.
how he
And just
treats
being around
people.
that professionalism, eh? Like
Yeah,
being and saying, all right, this is seeing
yeah,
what everyone else sees, what he does on the
yeah,
footy field. So everyone know what
yeah,
Cyril does. But then you got
yeah,
the other side of it, like how he
yeah,
prepared and
yeah.
throughout the
But
week,
and I
that
said,
sort of stuff.
yeah,
You know?
and
Mm.
I think that gave me the drive to want to do play footy, was seeing someone where I'm from make it and do the like train and do all the professional stuff, even though he's from
Yeah.
a small community like where I'm from. So gave it,
Mm-hmm.
I say, when you see one black fella do it, it just gives you that big confidence that, why not me? Why can't I
Yeah.
do it? But
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm lucky I've grown up with my family, because, I know a lot of Indigenous family, it's a bit harder for them. But
Mm.
like I said, I say, if you see one Indigenous guy can do it, I can do it, So
Yeah.
that's a big thing
That's
I
it.
go by. So
Mm-hmm. Did you what was your first experience like when when after you got after you got drafted and then the fellas coming up asking for autographs or photos, was that kind of crazy to you, or did you embrace that as soon as it happened?
Yeah, for me, I'm one of those shy kids, so it was kind of daunting at start. But it's good when
Yeah.
you haven't played a game because all the big guys kind of get all the attention. So
Mm.
yeah, the first time I got a sign, was probably at a like an Oz kick, like we did an
Yeah.
Oz kick clinic somewhere, and kind of that's when I kind of realized like, hey, like like
Mm.
they or just like little things like, a high or a wave at them, it just brightens their days. So that's kind
Mm.
of how I go about things now. I don't really like the first time I did it, I was kind of in the moment, really raw and like just,
Mm.
yeah, give back, sign everything. Which now,
Yeah.
like, I'm more like, yeah, all you got to do is wave or hi and say hello,
Yeah.
and that
Mm.
brightens that makes their whole week, and sometimes makes their whole year. So
Yeah, I know. Does hey,
yeah,
any money or what? Like,
yeah, that's the hand signal now. I try and
yeah,
make
yeah,
make all the brother boys. So
yeah.
you know, guys, payday today, payday today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you see him on
yeah,
the off week, nah, I'll come say hello
yeah,
next week.
yeah. Next week, yeah.
Next
Oh,
week.
when their brothers get paid here. So
I know. You know
yeah,
the time for everything, boy.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
So
No,
yeah, it's
that's it.
funny.
One thing I love that the AFL does that you don't really see, because I know you big basketball fan too. Um, but you don't really see in the NBL world is how you fellas get all the black fellas get together. I know it wasn't because of COVID kind of took a bit to get back, but all the black fellas getting together, and whether they go down to Adelaide or whether they go up north, they take that big trip together. And seeing that connection, have you from your experiences and you got all the brother boys up there to do it. What's that kind of connection and that vibe like? Like we talked about before, where everyone all coming together and it's like you known them for 100 years already, you know?
Yeah, no, like I say, like just the vibe in general. Like I think
Mm.
when you see another Indigenous guy being, doing great things, it bounces off you. Well, it bounces off them, I reckon. And
Mm.
it like I said, I'm a vibe person, so the people I surround myself with, I got a good connection with somehow. And
Mm.
yeah, I think I'm lucky that I've got a lot of mates from all over the place, from Kimberley's to Pilbara to all the way down to Geraldton. So and
Yeah.
even all the way over to Victoria side. I've got some good
Mm.
connections over there, and yeah, like every time we go on, like I think the All-Star camps every 2 years, but
Mhm.
I think it's awesome to for us to all get together and share what how we go about life, and
Mm.
how those guys see life as well. So that's
Mm.
kind of why I enjoy, I think, getting together and seeing those guys, because yeah, we all kind of like I said, we all got our own stories, but
Mm.
yeah, and it's unique when when you get to know them personally and know their story.
Mm.
It's amazing, and you just want nothing but success for them.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why we gel really well, us Indigenous guys, because we know each other's stories, and I think that's why we just want nothing but the best for each other. So
Yeah, no, that's wicked, and I think something that I think Michaela Morrison said was that it gave her a chance because when she saw McDonald Tipper Woody or like Wingard, and she seen him, as like this idol, this figure, and then when she went
yeah,
on the kick, seen that vulnerable side of him, and just thought
yeah,
that's that bigger connection
yeah,
there. And yeah, that's wicked. Do you ever, as someone who hits hard and plays the game the way it's meant to be played, is there any time when you're on the field and you see a brother boy and you're like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that to him.
Yeah, I think
Well, you go
that
to make a
happens.
big tackle and it's like, I'll bring him down softly.
Yeah, I think that's how that is. I think I'm one of those. I'm like, I try not to like show it on the field, but like I do have feelings for players and that. I think everyone, we don't ever go out there to knock someone out. It's just the way the game is. We're so fast flowing, and we don't wear any protective gear. So if someone's gonna get hurt, like well, my biggest thing, my uncle said, if you didn't go at 100%, you're gonna get hurt. So that's why I kind of go the way I go about it. And I'm a white line fever guy, so like once I pass that white line, I generally just go at 100 miles an hour. And there's some games there, like I think we played Daniel, and he took me on a long run. He dragged me along the wing, and then when he kicked it, I was so like angry that he dusted me. I just pushed him over at the end. Yeah, and I like gave him a little shove in the back, and it's funny he didn't know who it was, and then I think he come out after half time, and Morris like, oh, you cheap shotted me, you cheap shotted me. I was like, yeah, you made me run, that's why.
It's like, yeah, I did it. Oh well.
But it is like for me, I do have that little soft spot for the Indigenous boys, but I think I'm more of a white line fever, but I'm old school. Once we pass that, no one's my friend until that final siren goes, and then we're back brother boys again. So
yeah. Oh no. Well, when like we said, obviously you being a big basketball fan as well, and basketball being like a big chat type of sport. It's kind of the same with football. Like I know some it's not really put on a big display as what like basketball is, because obviously basketball smaller court, only 10 players on the. But all that still goes on where you get in your brother boys here, you say something cheeky and take off.
I think the prime example what from the weekend was like the Collingwood Richmond, and I think Ash got into Marlin, and then he ended up leaving the whole fight to go and try and mark the ball, and but Marlin was caught getting jerked around by half them Collingwood players, and then Ash tried to mark the ball and then end up kicking a goal from it, but we all like that, but I think we all, in the heat of the moment type of people, but for me, I never take anything personal on the footy field unless it's, directly at me, butter, or it's something the word that I don't like,
Yeah. No, well that's something that I have a huge amount of respect for you, because I went to a game last year, and like the perseverance, the professionalism, and the strength that I saw from you at that game is just something like I take my hat off, because you see a lot of people like they react because that's the reaction. They want to get that reaction out of you. They see you as like the bear, when they talk about poking the bear, and then when the bear explodes, they're like, oh, what, they like to point fingers and that. So why I got you on here, I just want to say like that's so wicked to see that strength, that inner strength that you have on.
Nah, thank you. But I think, I've lucky, of the way I kind of look at how lucky I am to be playing this game at the top level. And I think when I left it, I kind of forgot how lucky I was to be a mentor and be someone a lot of kids can look up to. And that's kind of why I want to play this. I want to give back to the kids, and make sure none of the kids, go through or make the same mistakes I did playing this game. And for me, I've got two younger boys, so I want them to have football as they look at football as a way out for them or a ticket to get away from the environment they're growing up in. So that's the biggest thing. And yeah, and how I go about life now, but me and Dad spoke about it when I had a few good conversations with Dad out bush and that, and he's just it kind of helped me get over being angry with the industry and because of the stuff I've been through, and asking the question why. But I always look at it as a positive. Look at my negative situation and try and look at it in a positive way. So that's kind of the reason why I think I'm so strong, that I've been through so many adversities, in my life. From missing out on drafts because I was overweight, and people said, "Oh, he won't last in the industry because he's not professional." So, but I've proven everything everyone said when I was growing up, I proved them wrong. So, and that's kind of my motivator. I like to prove people wrong. So that's kind of how I live my life, even if it's just the person I am, and going out and talking to people and leaving a good imprint on them. That's kind of, instead of, they're looking at us as robots and all, like, this we do get put in a different category. Once you get drafted and once you're in the AFL, people, look at you a bit differently, or sometimes they judge you before they know you. So that's kind of how my dad said, now that you're back in the industry and the way you treat people in the present moment, son, that's how they'll remember you. And that's kind of how I go. And that's how I want to be remembered. I don't want to be remembered from my football, because that's only a highlight of my life. And I'd rather be like, when I go out places, I conduct myself, and the way I conduct myself, and people always got eyes on you, no matter, where you are. So for me, just the way I conduct myself, and, I meet so many people that, I'll conduct myself and get, introduce myself as William, not by the football name Willie. So, and then you get to know, their side of the story, get to know that to get to know their story, and they're like, just as, important as what I'm doing in my life. So.
Well, that's it. On this podcast, I'm all about giving flowers, and they say, with men, we only get flowers on 2 days, is on our wedding day and on our funeral day, but they forgot about the Kiya Podcast day. So I want to give you your flowers for being who you are and being the role model that you are. Also being able to recognize the positives and the negatives and using them to your strength, creating them to your strengths. Thank you so much for being that role model and that person that we all can look up to, even fellas that are your own age or even older than you that are looking up to you and seeing that strength and that resilience. So Kiya, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this episode with Boston Fitch. Obviously, you would have seen how amazing of a person he is, what he does, and how he conducts himself. Such a beautiful person. So thank you very much for watching. Obviously follow us on Instagram, Kiya_podcast, the Kiya Podcast. We're also on TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. So make sure, go in there, have a look, like, share, all that sort of stuff. But also, even feel free to send us a message on who you want to see on this podcast, who you might think will be good, because we're always open. We've got a lot of episodes coming up over this Christmas, New Year's, and going into 2024 period. So make sure that you stay tuned in for that. And thank you for listening. Cheers. Budawan.
Kiya, I'm Izzy, host of the Kiya Podcast. RD Athletic is a proud sponsor of the Kiya Podcast. RD Athletic believe in more than just making sportswear. They believe in making a difference in collaboration with the NBL1. RD Athletic has the honour of helping to produce many of the stunning uniforms worn during the Indigenous round. Working closely with the clubs and Indigenous designers, RD Athletic doesn't just create uniforms. They create our Indigenous culture and heritage through sport. Every stitch, every design element in these uniforms tells a story of resilience, strength, and unity. By wearing these jerseys, athletes aren't just representing their teams. They are standing in solidarity with Indigenous communities across Australia. RD Athletics support goes beyond uniforms and is a socially conscious corporate citizen. We would like to thank RD Athletic for championing diversity, inclusivity, and empowering both on and off the court. To learn more about RD Athletic for your uniform needs,